Welcome to That's Based. Happy Monday. It's Unsolicited Advice. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Salvatore, reporting from somewhere underground. We're laughing our way through the end of days, and we're brought to you by Outlaw Streamers and our friends at Blood of Tyrants. Drink bloodoftyrants.com with the promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show. We'll save you 10% off your order at the checkout. They got two types of wine, both red and white, along with the Liquid Freedom energy drink. Drink bloodoftyrants.com, promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D. Like the title of the show, we'll save you 10% off your order at the checkout. Go support the types of brands that support this type of show. We're here for Unsolicited Advice. Stockholm Mia, the red face of white supremacy, who I feel I really earned that nickname for her tonight, is with us as always. She has scoured the internet for a couple of folks that need some help, and we're going to give it to them, albeit unsolicited from us. What do you have to say about these stories here? Any?
There's a pedophile.
Oh, God.
Like
a legitimate pedophile? Or
well, I don't know. Just read the story.
Okay. Well, we're recording this Sunday night. I just got back from my good friends over at Quick Draw Comedy. They run a weekly show over there, a live show, Kill Tony style show, where they'll bring comedians up, let them do their set, then they'll bring on a special guest. I was the special guest judge. I've been on there before, and we had a good old time. We had a really good time. Some might call it a dangerous time. And that episode will air in about a month or so. And I don't know how much of it they're going to leave on there, but I promised them to give me the footage if they decide not to post it. So we might give you a little behind-the-scenes look at the fact that I earn the nickname Comedy and Chaos. Mia, would you say I earned the nickname Comedy and Chaos for our...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah. I was... Should I just tell them what happened or no? No? I think our audience would eat that up. Or, you don't think that the people who might be listening for a little bit of dirt would eat that up? Is that what you're saying?
You do what you want to do.
I don't think it matters. No, I'll leave it. I'll wait until after the mayor's race is over. How about that? Before I bring it up, and maybe we'll have the footage of it by then. Okay, that's a good happy medium. But there's some people out there that know me, that know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a good time. It was, like I said, a little sketchy time, but it was a good time. Okay, we've got this first one here. Let's hop over. This is from Status Jackfruit 6397. Who asks, am I the asshole for not tipping because my waiter didn't wait on me? Says, I went to a sit-down restaurant last night, and my waiter, let's call him Brad, took my order and then disappeared. Didn't check in, didn't refill my drink, and didn't even bring my food. A random food runner did. Then when the check came, Brad magically reappeared, circled the suggested tip. He had the audacity to circle the guy sitting out back in the fucking alley, smoking weed behind the dumpster, and has the audacity to circle the suggested tip. It says, and gave me a big smile like we'd been through something together. My guy, what am I tipping you for? You didn't wait on me. You just took my order and vanished for like a part-time magician, so I left no tip. Now my friends are calling me an asshole because that's just how restaurants work. No. This guy is not the asshole here. There's no universe unless Brad had a family emergency that he had to leave for, which should have been made clear to you when he brought the check back. I'm so sorry. Or, the manager or the new server could have come out and said, I'm so sorry. Brad had X, Y, and Z going on. He had to leave. Totally different story. But something tells me that's not what was happening. Given what I know about the restaurant business, which is a whole lot. I know more than anybody about the restaurant business, even though I've never worked in one. But I know a lot of people who do work in the restaurant and bar industry, and something tells me that's not what was going on there. Exactly what was going on, we don't know, but that's not what was going on. Family emergency. So no, you are not the asshole here. Tips are earned. Now, I tip 20%. Even if the service is mediocre, I'll still tip 20% more often than not. If it's bad, then that's a different story. But if it's average, slightly below average service, I'll still tip 20% because it's a hard gig. I get it. The extra $2.83 is not going to break me financially. It's not a big deal to me. Like, just, this is it. Did you pick this because of what we went through this morning? Because of the trauma that I went through this morning?
No, I had this picked out like last week.
So this morning, we went to brunch after
You're gonna
church.
sound like such an asshole.
Today's not my day. It's not my day. So we went to brunch after church, and I ordered the Belgian waffle like a kid. Because, gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of eggs. And brunch and breakfast places don't really have a lot of friendly restaurants for those of us who find eggs to be putrid and disgusting, as we should. Unless they're baked into something, no, not eating them. Always been like that. I have some childhood trauma surrounding eggs. I'm only half kidding there. But, so I ordered a Belgian waffle. Now, Mia, what do you need to eat a Belgian waffle with? What usually...
A fork?
What condiment do you need to eat a Belgian waffle with?
Butter.
Not butter. I got plenty of butter. I had like more butter than was humanly possible for me to consume in one sitting.
I don't know. I don't know what the other condiment.
It's this thing called syrup. Comes from Vermont in Canada. And so I'm out of coffee. So can I get a refill? She goes, do you want more coffee? I said, yeah, I'll get a refill on coffee. And can I get some syrup, please? And she goes, she comes back with the coffee pot. She's like, okay, so coffee? And I went, yes, and syrup, please. Fills my coffee up, sets the pot back down, takes the cinnamon roll plate that we had split off the table. And I go, could I please get some syrup? And she walks away. And I mean, at this point, I am fuming. I am ready to explode in this farmhouse cafe. It's not the name of the restaurant. It was just the style of it, right? There is a farmhouse cafe in Omaha. That's not what we're talking about. And another waitress walks over, or whatever. What was she? Was she a manager? Was she a waitress?
She was our waitress. The girl who asked if there's anything else we needed, she was the food runner.
Okay. The waitress walks over and says, is there anything else you guys needed? And I was like, yeah, I asked 3 times for some syrup, but I guess it fell on deaf ears. And the girl comes walking over, the food runner walks past our table, and I noticed a hearing aid in her ear. Okay, that's not what happened. Mia told me she was deaf. I'm working on a comedy bit here. The story happened. I'm polishing it up to make it funny on stage. But she was deaf. Mia pointed it out. I didn't use the word deaf ears. She was deaf. Mia pointed it out. I felt like an asshole. This is the second time in public I have had a dispute with a deaf person, unbeknownst to me. The last time I was in a gas station, this guy had his phone out on FaceTime. I'm waiting to get my coffee. And he's doing hand motions in front of it. He goes up to the counter, pays, and he's doing hand motions in front of it. And he walks out, because I had said excuse me to him 3 times when I was trying to get my coffee, and he's sitting there doing his hand motions. And I go to the cashier, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? Like, is he doing a TikTok dance at the gas station? What the hell's going on here? And she's like, I think he's deaf. And I was like, I'm an asshole. I am an asshole. So Caleb and the Deafs do not have a great track record, right? You know what the best part of this is, though? I guarantee you 0% of my audience is deaf, because how the hell would they listen to me? That's why it really doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. So, no, this guy is not the asshole for not leaving a tip. This guy did nothing. I'm not, listen, like I said, so land the plane, loop it back together. I am not, or I will tip 20% more often than not. If it's exceptional service, I'll tip above 20%. Horrible service, then we're getting down to that 10% range. And if you're really bad, even worse. But, so no, I am not opposed to tipping below 20%. In this circumstance, the guy didn't do anything. He took your order, ran it back, and never did anything else. I mean, a literal computer could do that. Would you tip a computer? Mia, would you tip a computer? I know they ask you if you'll tip the computer at half the places you shop nowadays. I saw a tip at a self-checkout thing a couple of weeks ago. I about shot it right there. Like, this is somehow worse than Terminator Rise of the Machines, where in the movie they come out and they kill us all. This is somehow worse. They're asking us for money for doing no work. The machines are. Yeah, I'm going to tip this corporation so they can write it off on their taxes. I'm going to stop ranting. Let's go to the next one here. Am I the asshole for telling my boss that I wasn't invited to the party? I, 26 female, just started at a new job, quickly realized that one of my colleagues, Marie, is engaged and is getting married within the next 2 months. It seemed like the whole office was attending the wedding. I absolutely did not expect an invite. She just met me. Weddings are planned in advance, venues booked, etc. My friend actually just got married, so I saw firsthand how it all worked. I could tell Marie wondered if I was expecting an invitation and was hesitant to bring up the wedding around me, but I just never made it a big deal. I don't feel left out in the slightest. Then I got CC'd on an email from someone someone at the office, Joan, was throwing Marie a shower during our lunch hour in the break room in a couple of weeks. Joan was sending out a collection so we'd give a group gift, cash. They also suggested that we make it a potluck. Joan included her Venmo and asked we email back with what we planned on bringing. Even if I'm not going to the wedding, I still believe everyone deserves to be celebrated in Venmo, the $20, as well as send a reply saying I'd bring lasagna. This all seems reasonable so far. I don't see anything in the wrong here. I don't have a problem with that. Says, am I dark on the screen right now? Am I dark? What did you do?
It was like that when we started.
All these racist allegations. You're trying to make me add a little bit more melanin to my skin. I kind of can pull it off. I look Indian, though. I don't think I like it. What are you doing to me? So it says, a little later, I saw the $20 had been returned to my Venmo, and Joan approached my desk. She said I didn't need to contribute. I said, even if I'm not attending the wedding, I'd still like to give her something. She looked a little awkward and hemmed and hawed, and then eventually said, you're not invited to the shower. Oh. I was confused. I said, I can't go in the company break room on lunch hour? She said, yes. I asked, where am I supposed to go? I don't drive. I take public transit to and from work. We don't really work near anywhere I could go to quickly for a lunch hour. She said I could stay at my desk. I don't... This feels like a lawsuit waiting to happen. I pointed out this was a little exclusionary. She said Marie didn't want me to assume I was invited to the wedding. I said I don't at all. I completely understand I haven't worked here long and we're not close enough. I'm not hurt by that. She said that's great, but I still can't come. Wow. I asked if I had done anything to offend Marie, and she said no. She just doesn't want me getting my hopes up. I finally let it go and said, fine, have a good party. The day of the shower, I sat at my desk during the party while everyone else went, eating my lunch alone. One kind person snuck me a piece of cake. Halfway through the party, the big boss came in. She usually doesn't work on Friday, so it was a surprise to see her. She saw me sitting at my desk, asked why I wasn't at the party. I told her I hadn't been invited. She was clearly perturbed by this. Later on, she sent an email out banning parties of any kind during work hours. A few people, Joan and Marie included, realize I'm the one who told. They've now turned on me. Some friends say I'm in the wrong. No, you're not in the wrong here. You're not in the wrong at all. First off, I don't even know what to say to this. The boss probably overreacted by banning parties. Am I wrong here? A total ban was probably an overreaction.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of an overreaction.
Probably could have said,
she
hey.
was probably worried about complaints or something that was going to happen from her.
Yeah, it's probably something that could have been addressed in an email saying, hey, if we want to have little potlucks or gatherings in the break room, that's fine, but we have to include everybody. So now here's the flip side. If you've got an issue with this and you're offended, you take it up with the woman. You take it up with the woman who the shower's for. You say, hey, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I realize I've only been here for a couple of weeks. I don't anticipate to be invited to your wedding. But I would like to, participate and bring something to your shower and give you guys a little something for you. Who's going to turn down money? Do you have any idea how expensive weddings are? I mean, I was out begging for you guys to buy from our sponsors when we were paying for our wedding. I never beg you. You know, I was out stealing checks out of the neighbors' mailboxes. No, I'm kidding. Only Joe Biden's mailbox. That's a throwback to the Saturday show. It's a callback. If you don't get it, go back and watch the Saturday show again. I think everyone is just being a little childish here. And, wow. I don't even, like, everyone fucked up here. Everyone was in the wrong. This is bravo.
I don't think she was. I don't think the girl was.
She should have addressed it. You disagree? Well, you're not aggressive like me.
Yeah, no. I mean, for me, I would just be like, okay, and eat lunch at my desk.
You would sit at your desk. Yeah, you would. But she's also not the asshole for answering a question. I mean, was she supposed to lie to her boss? It's not her fault that she answered a question truthfully. You know, because if the boss came out and said, why aren't you at the party? And you would have lied and said, I just didn't feel like it. Now, all of a sudden, you look like the outcast in the office who's not a team player. And the boss is like, okay, I got to keep my eye on this person. And then you get passed over for raises and promotions. And there's a discriminatory attitude against you. She asked you a question. You gave a straight answer, a truthful straight answer. You didn't do it to sabotage anybody. You didn't, to my knowledge, stretch the truth. You just answered the question why you weren't in the break room. I don't have a problem with that. That's their fault for getting upset. All right. Let's go to the last one. Is this the pedophile? Because we're 0 for 2 on pedophiles right now. We can't let the pedophile win again. All right. Says, am I the a-hole? Brutal edition. Anonymous member. It's always great when they're anonymous. When you're ashamed to say something to a bunch of strangers, it's always a good sign. Says, am I the asshole for missing my ex? We got together when I was 14 and he was 26. Oh, brilliant. We married when I was 17 and were together for nearly 18 years. He was emotionally abusive and controlling, and I finally made it out. No way. The guy who married a girl that wasn't old enough to drive when he was in his mid-20s was emotionally abusive and controlling? That's a plot twist I just didn't see coming. Did you see that coming? I had no idea. Oh, and here it gets even better.
To be fair, he married her when she was 17, so that was driving.
Oh, he just started dating her when she was 14. So this guy's my age, so 3 years. This guy's 29 years old, about to be 30. Marrying a girl who was a junior or senior in high school. I could not even imagine. Guys, okay, 12 years when one of you's 31 and the other's 43, not a big deal. What we were just talking to last night at a dinner party about how little we understand about this generation and all their lingo and all their terms and how much shit they have going on that we can't even begin to comprehend. I cannot even begin to fathom what a 17-year-old's life is like. I couldn't imagine wanting to marry one. Not just for the pedophilia aspect, of course, aside. Put that aside. Just the different point. Okay, fuck it. Say 18. Make them legal. The different points in life you're at. That's like 3 jumps. 18 to 29. I couldn't imagine it. But here's where the plot thickens and it gets even more unbelievable. This is an even bigger shock here. So after he was emotionally abusive and controlling and she finally made it out, you guys aren't going to believe this. He got caught with child pornography. I know that's hard for some of you to believe that the guy who was 26 dating a 14-year-old got popped for kiddie porn. But, you know, sometimes it's the people you least expect. It really is. Says he's in the sex offenders register. It's supposed to say registry, whatever. I'm not going to be too much of a grammar Nazi today with the child bride. She is a victim, so we won't be too rude to her. Says, I was looking through old photos and part of me misses him so much. Most of my life was spent with him. That's like a Jew missing the 40s. I mean, it's like, I really miss the old concentration camp days. Like, what are you talking about? That's Stockholm Syndrome, sweetheart. You've been brainwashed. You're not an asshole for missing him. He's the asshole. It's just very unfortunate. It says, I don't want him back. He crossed an unforgivable line, but sometimes I wonder, what if I stay? I can tell you what would happen if you stayed. You'd be dead. Whether by your own hand or his, you would be dead or substantially worse off. You're not the asshole for missing your ex. I'm not even going to call you stupid for it. You've been brainwashed by a manipulative controller in your most formative years. All of them. I mean, 14, your brain stops developing at 25. This guy sunk his fangs into you when you were 14 years old. I'm going to take a wild guess and say he probably wasn't the first person to groom you. This probably started before 14. You never had a chance. You're not the asshole here. You're a victim, and we should hang this guy from a tree. After he goes to trial, of course. Any comments?
There were probably so many people in that girl's life who failed her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like, here's my thing. If my 14-year, first off, you 9 times out of 10, if your 14-year-old daughter is dating a 26-year-old man, you as a father are probably not even in her life. The 1 to 10% of times where you are, you immediately go to the police. You have this guy arrested the moment he's even brought up as a candidate for her. If the police can't do anything, I hate to break this to you fellas, politically, in Minecraft, on a video game,
politically,
of course not in real life, it becomes your responsibility as a man, through whatever means you got to take, to go let this 26-year-old man know that your 14-year-old daughter is off limits. If that involves maybe limiting his capacity to walk for the next couple of months with some sporting good equipment that one might use to play baseball or golf or hockey, then that's what you got to do. If you need to take, maybe like a real life squirt gun over, a really realistic looking water pistol that happens to fire lead, and stick it down his throat and tell him to never come near your daughter, politically, of course. Sometimes that's what you got to do. But first, of course, you got to go through the police before you definitely don't do this hypothetical situation that we would never advise anyone to do. But I mean, it's, as a man, this needs to be handled. This shouldn't even be in the position where she's marrying this guy. If your daughter comes to you and there's absolutely nothing you can do, and the police won't get involved, and she's like, I'm 17, I'm marrying the 29-year-old that groomed me. Well, politically, in a video game, the 29-year-old that groomed her needs to go missing. That's all there is to it. I mean, that's just man code. When the system fails, you must step in to protect your wife and children. That's just how it works. Politically, of course. Not, can you hit him with the sound effect one more time?
politically.
Not physically, politically. He has to go politically missing. Do with that what you will. Anything else we want to do before we get out of here? I thought I had one that I sent to myself that was just such an absurd Reddit thing. I just wanted to read it on the show, but I can't. My email is like, am I going crazy? My email, stuff is disappearing from my email. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm surprised you couldn't. Oh, they took it down. God, is there a way to find it after it's been taken down?
There's some website. It's like deleted Reddit or something.
This was such. I remember what it was. I don't remember what it was word for word, but this was so disgusting. So the guy was asking if he was the asshole for having a problem with his girlfriend's kink. And he talked about how much he loved his girlfriend. But she had... If you're squeamish and you don't like gross stories, bye-bye. We'll see you Wednesday. Tune out right now. This is your last warning. His girlfriend's kink was she liked to watch him take a shit in a public restroom. And I'm not just talking a public restroom. Her thing was You know, like those like country gas stations that have bathrooms outside around the side of the building? You see them in the South. She wanted to watch him take a shit in that bathroom. And it went beyond just watching him. She wanted to wipe for him while she finger blasted herself and jerked him off. Mia has found some disgusting stories for this segment here, and I think I just topped all of them. Did I just top all of them with this?
I think you topped it.
Yeah, your girlfriend's mentally ill, dude. I'm a big fan of kink shaming. He's about to knock that camera over.
Well, the poop jars were a little bad too.
The poop jars were bad. I'm a big fan of kink shaming. I really am. I'm a big fan of shaming people for their kinks because I think a lot of kinks are not kinks. They are mental illness that has been labeled by kinks as the result of a society getting way too open-minded. Okay, that's he's making me nervous. Let's see if he can get out of this one. We'll have to buy a new camera if he doesn't. Oh, look at that. Apollo the dog with the moves. Apollo the Aussie with the moves. Slick. You're used to our old dog that would have ran right through that. She was old. She didn't really know where she was going. Her vision was starting to go. It's fine. But no, I mean, there's a line between I like to get choked around a little bit. You know, I like to get tossed around a little bit. And I'm not saying I do, but I'm saying there's a fine line between somebody saying they like to get tossed around in bed a little bit and somebody wanting to wipe their significant other's ass after they take a shit in a public outdoor bathroom. You're mentally ill. I don't know where that line is, but I know it when I see it. You folks are mentally ill. That's all there is to it. You guys that are into, like, women dominating you financially, mental illness. And we've got to get out of here because the studio's under attack. Someone just broke in, and I have to go shoot him now. That was a joke. That didn't really happen. I wouldn't be this calm right now. But no, the dog is about to break our entire setup, so we got to go. We'll see you on Wednesday. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse, and stay based.